So I'm going to be installing this low bracket mount on my 2017 BMW R Nine T. I'll include the part numbers of the bracket and the bolt in the description. So I've reviewed how to do this, and it looks like we've got a to remove some fasteners on the passenger seat support down here. There's two, as well as for the exhaust. We'll start by removing the rear seat, and then on the opposite side as well. So let's see what that looks like when we remove it. So we'll start with the passenger seat, and I believe that's just a T30 if you don't have the key. Pretty standard on every single R90 to have a T30 kicking around. And then we can see there's some fasteners on the top, and I believe they're all T40s or T40s and T30s to remove out. So I'm going to loosen those up, and we'll take those out. So I removed the fasteners holding the support from the other side, and then on this side I've removed the master cylinder for the rear brake, as well as the pegs, just to get to this fastener. I think it's a little easier. But as you'll notice, there's a shop rag over top of the swing arm. I just put that on there to keep it from getting scratched. So we're going to try to take these fasteners out. So now we're going to be putting the fasteners back in. I bought the $40 spacer because I do intend to take the bike on a trip where I would probably have like a saddlebag on the bike, so this will need to go back on. But until that day happens, this is going to have to be it. Now, there's a couple of lines here. If I'm not mistaken, it should just lift off, unless I missed a fastener. So just nice and easy, and off it comes. Now we're going to need to press out that rubber guy, because we're going to need him on our new bracket. So I'll set this down, and I'm going to attach the master cylinder, passenger side foot peg. Oh me, oh my. And I'm just going to throw just a dab of blue Loctite on there. Safety precaution, I guess. And then there's the little bracket we were talking about. Basically this just would sit right here. I think it'd go like this. And that's just so you can put the fasteners back in and not get corrosion on the threads should you decide to someday put this back on. There's one. And yeah, it was $40, so it's definitely a decent amount of money for this small little thing, which you probably could have went to Home Depot or Lowe's and bought a fastener to put in there, and it would protect the threads and do the exact same thing. But I guess I'm a little, I wouldn't say paranoid, but just I figure if I'm going to spend the money on this bike, I may as well spend another 40 bucks on a crappy aluminum bracket. And I'm not going to torque these to spec. I'm just going to tighten them. They're not going to go anywhere with the Loctite. Okay. And then the same with the lower foot peg too. Drive it in. And that takes care of the right side of the bike. Now, something else that I didn't see anybody else mention on the instructions was I'm going to put the fasteners for the bracket back in. Again, same reason to protect the threads. I will be getting the tidy tail type kit for this bike. So this will essentially be coming apart again in some time in the future. But in the meantime, I just like the idea of not losing these fasteners and remembering exactly where they go. Because if you're like me, you don't just have one project. My motorcycle is by far, well, sorry, my BMW R Nine T is by far the newest edition, but I've got a few other things that I like. So, swing arm looks good. Okay, next step is to install this bracket, but I also need to press this guy in there. You see my hand, I ordered this guy, the spacer. It was listed as needed, and I don't think it's needed for the stock exhaust. Maybe it's needed with a different aftermarket exhaust. That's this bracket here. I'll put the part number for it. Don't order this if you don't need it. It was expensive. It's like $57, which absolutely ridiculous. If I had known I don't need it, I wouldn't have ordered it. It probably doesn't hurt to order one of these, so you don't have to take it out. I think it's only 12 bucks when you consider how much I'm struggling with it. $12 doesn't seem worth it, but it's almost in there. We're just gonna push it in. I would not want to have to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order one of these and put it back in the frame. And then obviously it needs to go in a particular way. the tapered side fits this guy in, and boom, you throw him in there and there he is. So the next step is to see if I can get a good view there. Yeah, put this guy in there. So to do that, it sits like this, and you reuse the fasteners that you took off, but you do need to buy one if you want to install the lower bracket. So that being said, we're going to put the top one in first, which is this long guy, and it's a motorcycle, right? So you don't have to use Loctite, but I find it won't hurt. And then I'll leave that guy loose. This is the guy that I bought for $2. Kind of a rip-off, but do you need it? Maybe not. And then the two longer ones, fairly straightforward. We're going to hold off on putting that guy in until we tighten everything down, because we won't be able to get to those fasteners out of there. Okay, being said, we're going to tighten this guy down first, and he is a T40. Okay. And then these guys, whoops. Guy's gonna be a bit of a, gonna need a universal joint for him. Got a U-joint on there now. Okay. Alright, so I'll tighten these down. This one. This one. And then this one. And then finally, I'll put the foot peg back on. should do it. So that's the finished product, and it basically gets rid of that. Now, thing to note is, for anybody that's done this before, you obviously can see that I have the rear passenger seat back on, and that's not the right way to do it. There should be a cowl cover that goes there, because after taking the structure out, the seat has nothing to clip onto, so it'll flop up. But overall, I've got that coming actually, but overall I like how it transforms the look of the bike in the back. I think it looks pretty good. So another one off of the list.